Welcome back everyone. As the year is coming to a close, we might start thinking about goals, intentions, and resolutions for 2025. Things that maybe we want to do differently or change to take good care of ourselves in the new year. Today I want to share with you a list of 25 ideas for gentle New Year's goals for 2025, because I feel like the New Year's goals you often hear are, focused on productivity, waking up earlier, going to the gym, kind of like giving ourselves a kick in the butt. And while I do feel like there can be value in goals like that, I sometimes feel like there's a certain gentleness or self-care or compassion missing in that story. And I actually feel like that is very important if we want to live a happy and healthy life. We deserve to feel good and cared for by ourselves. So for me, I always prefer to focus on goals that are based in things like self-care, slow living, minimalism, goals that are easy and kind and gentle, but still very powerful and can gently push me forward to feel good and happy and healthy and thrive. So I have some ideas for you today. Of course, you don't have to do all 25 of these. I recommend just picking out a few that resonate with you, maybe one or two or three, and feel free to make them your own or add your own as well. I also want to share an important New Year's goal of mine personally, so I'm going to talk more about that at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. And the video is kindly sponsored by Live XP, and I will chat more about them later on as well. So for now, let's begin with number one, which is learning to bake your own bread. This can of course be something else too. It doesn't have to be bread, or maybe you can already make bread yourself. But the idea is to pick something that is new and also kind of challenging and learn how to make that yourself from scratch next year. I think cooking new recipes and learning how to make something from scratch that I didn't know how to make before is always so fun and rewarding in a way. So next year I want to try making focaccias because I love focaccia and I don't know how to make that, so I would love to learn how to make it. Number two, read your books. So many of us book lovers have this big pile of books that we haven't gotten around to reading yet, and at the same time we still might get new books. So either they get released next year and it's something that we have been really looking forward to, or someone on BookTube recommends them. So sometimes I feel like we're more in a process of acquiring books and listening to people talk about books rather than actually reading our books. And I think social media can play a part in this. I know for me, when I see another creator do book hauls or talk about their favorite books of the year, I get this kind of sense of FOMO that, all these books that I still want to read and stuff makes me feel a little uneasy. But in the end, there are only so many books that you can read in a year, and rushing through them or acquiring more books when I still have old ones that I haven't read yet just doesn't really do it for me. So if you recognize this, you could set the goal for yourself to first read all of your books and just focus on those books. Don't worry about all the other books that are also out there. And if you feel like you need to back off a little when it comes to book-related content in order to really find that peace so you can enjoy reading your books, then that is okay. Number three is to be more compassionate and forgiving towards yourself. This year, when your inner critic gets loud and you are being hard on yourself or putting yourself down, take a bit of paper and a pen and write down some kind words that you would say to a friend in a similar situation. Picturing someone else in our shoes can awaken our compassion, and then we can practice channeling some of that compassion towards ourselves. And by writing it down, you're making it even more powerful because you're not only thinking the words, but you're also writing them down and seeing them with your own eyes. Self-compassion will get you a lot further in life than self-criticism. So if you recognize this, you could give it a try. Number four, make more time for niks. Niks is a Dutch word and it literally means doing nothing. And we Dutch people love to niks every once in a while, just kind of lounging around the house, chilling, finding some relaxation. Maybe hanging on the couch, reading a book or a magazine, listening to some music, taking a little nap, drinking a cup of tea or coffee. Just enjoying some time where we don't have to be productive. For example, next year you could try keeping open one weekend day a week, or if that is too much, you could do it every other week or an afternoon of that weekend day a week to keep that free for next time. Just take a little break from all the responsibilities of life and recharge your battery. Treat it as an appointment with yourself so that you know you will have that time for whatever you want to do in that time. Oftentimes I find that if I don't schedule these moments in actively, then they just don't happen because days get filled up with to-dos very quickly. So treat this as a promise to yourself. Number 5, make a use it up list. One of my favorite goals, I talk about it all the time because it's such a great way to simplify your life. Just making sure that you are using up certain things before you buy the replacement. You could do this with pantry items, you could do it with personal care items like makeup and skincare and hair care and toothpaste. You can even do it with books or video games, whatever resonates with you and whatever is just one of those things that you often end up stocking up on or having like a large amount of, and then maybe even having to throw some of it out because it expired. If you find that you often end up buying more of a certain thing when you still have some of that left in your home, then you can write that down on your category use it up list and make it a challenge for 2025 that you have to use up everything in your home first before you're allowed to buy new ones. And maybe, who knows, you won't even have to buy anything in that category for the whole year because you might just have enough to last you the entire year. Number 6 is learn a new language or brush up on an old one. One of my favorite things to do. It is such a fun hobby. It keeps your brain active because you're training your brain when you learn a new language. It opens up communications. It helps you to understand new cultures, new perspectives. And just for me, I find that learning new languages has added such a depth and richness to my life. So I love being able to talk in Japanese with someone when I'm in a Japanese restaurant, for example, or when I go on a trip in Madrid, being able to ask for directions in Spanish. It just adds something special when you can do it in someone else's language. And if you'd like to learn a language, I recommend checking out LiveXP, who are also sponsoring today's video. I've worked with them before, and the cool thing is that they are an online platform where you can find language tutors for one-on-one lessons. You can practice a new language with native speakers from all over the world. They have more than 2,000 tutors and 13 languages, including English, French, Chinese, and many others.
こんにちは。お久しぶりですね。元気ですか？そうですか。
I've been taking Japanese and Spanish lessons, and it is so nice because you're actually speaking and practicing with someone, and it can really help to get more comfortable with that new language, and also the teacher can give you direct feedback.
Voy a... Sí, voy a visitar a mi familia y voy a ir al súper.
And you can immediately ask them questions if you don't understand something.
いつかんです使いますか?
You can choose a tutor based on your language goals, so maybe you want to learn the basics for an upcoming trip, or you want to brush up on another language that you haven't spoken in a while. And you can even filter by interest, so you can talk about things you like. I also appreciate that the subscriptions are very flexible. You can change between languages and tutors anytime. You can reschedule lessons, cancel your subscription anytime, and the pricing is also very reasonable. If you want to try them out, you can book a trial lesson for only 99 cents by using my code HAPPYZEN, and then you can even get 30% off your subscription by using my code HAPPYZEN30. So all the information is in the description box. Big thank you to LiveXP, and let's get back to the video. Number 7 is take more everyday pictures. This is one of mine for next year. I usually just don't take a lot of pictures, and recently I had a realization that I hardly have any recent pictures of me with my mom or my dad or my brother or my sister or my friends. So I want to change that. I always love looking at pictures, not just from really fantastic trips or cool experiences, but also just my normal everyday life, like the oatmeal that I typically make, or reading something on the couch, or reading a book at a cafe with a cup of tea, just taking a little picture of the tea with my book, hanging out with someone I love. So I'm gonna try and take a few more pictures next year, not even to share with others or post online or anything, but for myself and for the memories. Number 8 is the 100 Days of Happiness Challenge. If you like the picture idea, then you might also like this one. This is a challenge where 100 days in a row, every day you take one picture of something that made you happy that day. And it can be a nice cup of coffee or a beautiful flower you see somewhere, or something nice that someone did for you, or something that really worked out well, something that brought you a little bit of joy and happiness. Take a picture, and at the end of the 100 days, you will put all the pictures in an album. And you will have an album of 100 pictures of things that made you happy. I did this challenge with a friend a couple years ago, and I had a lot of fun, so I can definitely recommend it. Number 9 is try to avoid food waste when you can. I don't know about you, but I hate throwing away food. I hate it. I always try to make sure I don't have to do that. So if that resonates with you, then maybe this could be a good goal for next year. Some things you can do to decrease food waste are not buying too many perishable items at once, cooking bigger batches and then freezing the leftovers if you can't use it up before it goes bad, learning to make recipes using just what you have in the fridge or pantry, and also regularly checking your fruits and vegetables and placing the ones you need to use up first in front. The next goal idea is to try and be extra kind to people who might feel invisible. A few times in my life, I have spoken with people who told me that sometimes they feel invisible in today's world, in our society, and that really made my heart ache. And I think that's why I remember it. Specifically, I have heard elderly people mention this, and also people who work in the food service industry or in the cleaning industry. So for example, the people who would come in to clean the offices where I used to work every morning. Since then, I've always tried to be extra mindful of this and be extra kind and attentive. So for example, I did notice that some of my colleagues do kind of ignore the person who came in to clean, and I want to always make sure that I am acknowledging their presence, say hello, give them a big smile. Same with when you go to the stores, people are cleaning like the mall, things like that. And also when you pass an elderly person on the street or in the supermarket, just being a little bit extra mindful of saying hello, or maybe seeing if they need help, like reaching something high up on a shelf, things like that. Number 11 is to make a playlist of songs that make you feel good. Or maybe even make 2 playlists, one with songs that are very happy and upbeat for when you want to clean or exercise or do something else that's active and you want to have fun doing it. And another playlist with comforting songs for those moments when you're experiencing pain or sadness or stress, or you're just tired and you want to relax. I find that the right music has the power to change my mood instantly or give me some comfort when I need it. So if you recognize that, then these 2 playlists could be a nice idea. Number 12 is to cut back on your social media use. If you find that this year you've wasted just a bit too much of your time being online and being on social media, then this could be a good goal. Maybe there's one specific app that has brought you just more negative energy than positive energy this year. You can just try deleting that one app. Or you could set limits within your social media apps, like a max of 30 minutes per day, for example. And number 13 is to avoid accounts that make you want to shop more than you would ideally like to. I've been a minimalist for over a decade, and even for me, I do find that some creators here on YouTube do make me want to shop more than I would ideally like to. And so I decided to cut back on these accounts, at least for a little while. And I have noticed a very big difference. It really has helped. If you follow a certain account or a certain creator that makes you want to click on links and check out storefronts and shop online, then this could be a nice goal, because I do find, for me anyway, that with this it is kind of out of sight, out of mind. If I don't constantly see these things, like, you cannot want what you didn't see or what you don't know is out there. And so this has really helped me to focus more on my own life and just be happy with what I already have. Kind of in a similar vein, number 14 is to avoid accounts that make you dislike your body. This is such an important one. I made a whole video recently over on my Patreon where I talked about how I'm learning to love my body just the way that it is and stop judging my body. And this is one of the points that I mentioned in that video. There are so many amazing creators out there who talk about how much they love their body, and it just gives such a positive juju that has really helped me to also accept and love my body for what it is. And if you find that watching a certain creator or a certain kind of content just often leaves you feeling really insecure, then it could be a good idea to try and avoid accounts like that for a little while next year and just see how that changes things for you, because it really might change things for you in a positive way. Goal idea number 15 is to do an easy seasonal declutter next year. Every time a new season starts, you can do an easy declutter, and by that I mean going to a certain place in your home, maybe your closet, and just picking out the easy picks, the things that you truly never wear, that have holes in them, like socks with holes or something, or things that really are not in good condition anymore. I find that seasonal declutters just really help to prevent something that is called clutter blindness, because I feel like we can start to become blind to certain objects because they're somewhere and they've been there for a while, so we kind of just don't really notice them anymore, even if we never use them. So at the start of a new season, you can pick out an area in your home and just go through all the stuff that is there. Maybe I find that usually there are at least a few things that you really don't use anymore, or that you don't like anymore, or maybe that are broken or not usable, and then you can declutter those. And then next season, you can go somewhere else in your home and go through that section. So this just is a very easy way to kind of keep the clutter under control. Number 16 is to get workout clothing that makes you feel good. This year, I really noticed a very funny difference in how much I exercise and also how I am enjoying my workouts depending on what I'm wearing. So sometimes when I'm feeling lethargic, and I'm not in the mood to work out, I find that it already helps to put on my workout clothes to get me in the mood to exercise. And the same also goes for the opposite. If I'm wearing something that's kind of old and battered and that doesn't like feel very nice or doesn't fit right, I kind of do my workouts also half-heartedly because I'm just not really getting excited about them. Now, I don't think that you need expensive workout clothes or that you need all kinds of different options or different workout clothes for specific activities. Usually you can use the same things for anything. So it doesn't have to be like a lot, and it doesn't have to be very expensive, but just something that makes you feel good, that gets you excited to work out, that is maybe like, I don't know, has a fun color or that fits you well and that feels comfortable, to get you in that headspace of, okay, I'm going to work out now and it's going to be fun. Number 17, slightly less fun, but important, to schedule your health appointments for the year. Dentist appointments, checkups, whatever you need that fits with you and your situation. But I always find that if I don't schedule these things and life gets busy, it just is so easy to kind of forget about these things and postpone them. But of course they are very important. So what you could do is take out your calendar and schedule as many as you can for the year already in there, or at least if you can't already schedule them in advance, maybe set an alarm in your calendar or in your phone that in October or something you want to call such and such to get an appointment. Number 18, commit to not using your phone the first 30 minutes after waking up and the last 30 minutes before going to bed. If you don't do this one already, then I really think that this goal is a true life changer. The way we start our day has such a big impact in how we feel the rest of the day. And so if you're just waking up and you're already putting information into your head from your phone about news and social media and emails, it just creates this sense of stress right after waking up. Same with going to bed at night. Try to unwind a little, give your brain a chance to slow down, no screens for a while, and no screens in bed also. Number 19, commit to setting boundaries. If you feel that this is difficult, setting boundaries with people, then I feel you. I also find this very challenging sometimes, but it is a really great form of self-care, learning to set boundaries when you need to, and it's just really important. I find that the trick is to practice, practice, practice. So practice writing down what you want to say before you have the conversation, or even do it through an email or a text if that's appropriate, if doing it in person is too scary for you in the beginning. Learn to love and respect yourself enough to protect your time and your energy when you need to. And as they say, if someone gets upset with you when you set a boundary, then that only proves that the boundary was necessary in the first place. Number 20, if you have a trip scheduled, then you could practice slow travel. Try not to plan 3 different places or activities in a day. Try to slow down and really experience just being there instead of having to tick off as many boxes as you can in a single trip. I usually plan 1 activity or 1 destination a day, and that does make sure that I think about it and like the most important things or the things that I really want to do get priority during my trip, but it also leaves time for rest. It leaves room for spontaneity. It leaves me with time to slow down and enjoy my meal somewhere, or slow down with a cup of tea if I need a little bit of rest. And I find that slow travel just really helps for me to really soak up the local atmosphere and savor the experience, instead of just running around trying to do as many things as I can. So kind of acting as if I have all the time in the world there, even when I know that it is only a temporary trip, because for me that just makes the whole thing a lot more enjoyable and less stressful. Goal number 21 is to tip well, if you can afford to, of course, and this goal also kind of maybe changes a little depending on where you live in the world and what the tipping culture is like. I love making sure to tip well because it is a small thing that I can do to let the people who work there know that I appreciate them. And I also think that generosity is good for everyone because giving is contagious. Number 22, once a week, send someone a little message to ask how they are. If you find it sometimes difficult to keep up with friendships or relationships, because maybe you're busy or you're not the person to often think about checking in with people or asking them how they're doing or making the first move, then this could be a good goal. So set an alarm on your phone for once a week, like at a time when you're usually free, and when the alarm goes off, you can just go through your contact list, pick out one person and send them a message to ask them how they are, because that can really help to keep the friendship alive and not let it like fizzle out. Number 23, try going to bed a little bit earlier. This is a good goal to have if you are a night owl. I personally find that life is so much more manageable after I get a good night's sleep. Things just look a lot more positive and doable for me. Prioritizing your sleep can help with having more energy, improving your immune system, increasing productivity, and overall just keeping you happy and healthy. If you find that you don't always get the sleep that you need because you're staying up too late, then try making going to bed just a little bit easier. And what I mean by that is to already have certain things done earlier in the evening so that they don't stand in your way when you are on the couch, for example, thinking like, I should go to bed, but I'm not in the mood to do this or that. So if you've already brushed your teeth or done your skincare or made your breakfast or lunch to take to work the next day earlier in the evening, then it is easier to go to bed because you don't have to first do all of these other things. Number 24, also one of mine, to take the stairs whenever possible. If you're able to, then you could set the goal for yourself to try and take the stairs if you have the option of going the stair route or the escalator or elevator way. When it comes to moving your body, every little bit helps. And for me also, I find that when I take the stairs, it just makes me feel a little bit more like fit and healthy, and it motivates me to try and keep that up for the rest of the day, to exercise and eat right and stuff like that. Even if it's only up one flight of stairs, it just puts me into this, like, I don't know, healthy vibe. So sometimes it's not even about that small action, but more so about the mindset that comes with that small action and the rest of the behaviors that that mindset inspires throughout the day. And number 25, try to give at least one hug each day, either to yourself or to someone else. Hugging works. We know from studies that it is really good for your health, both physical and mental. For me, I think of hugging now as breathing oxygen or drinking water. Just sometimes I get a hug from someone and I just feel like you're finally taking a deep breath, or that your body can finally kind of relax a little. And I find that if I want to get more hugs, it helps to give more hugs. So this could be a good goal for you to try as well. And of course, I would love to know from you, do you have goals for next year? Do you have resolutions? What are they? Maybe some in this video that you found to be maybe helpful. I would love to know in the comments. And I also have one goal that is personal to me and that I wanted to share with you because it has to do with the channel. And that is that I want to, how should I say this? I'm going to make a little change in my uploading schedule to protect myself a little bit from myself. I love this job so much and I put my heart and soul into this because I have not found a way to do this not putting my heart and soul into this, if you know what I mean. Like, this is so important to me. I love it so much. It's so meaningful to me. I appreciate all of you so much. And I've been doing this for 7 years now. And for 7 years, I've given everything that I have to the channel. And I don't regret a single minute spent on Simple Happy Zen because it has also brought me so much. And I think it's such a special community. That said, I have really noticed a pattern in my work-life balance that has become really apparent to me, and I keep falling back into the same traps of pushing myself too hard, of working too much, because I feel like I need to meet my uploading schedule and I get really stressed if I can't do that. So I work more than I'm capable of. Basically, that is the problem. And so I've decided to make a little change to give myself just a little bit more breathing room in between uploads so that I actually have more time for self-care, for rest. Honestly, I know, like, I keep talking about these things and they're important, but sometimes I feel like I'm not doing them myself, at least not enough. For the last couple of weeks, I've been working so hard. I haven't had a minute to myself, it feels like sometimes, and you know, it's just not just my job, but it's also cleaning and social life and all the other things, cooking, grocery shopping. It's just been a lot for me. And I noticed that if I keep this up, if I keep up this pace, I'm going to hit a wall sometime next year. I feel it coming, so I need to make a change. Basically, instead of trying to have an upload on YouTube every Saturday and then twice a month on Patreon, I'm going to give myself a week and a half in between uploads on YouTube instead of a week. So instead of having it ready every Saturday, I'm going to give myself a week and a half. So if I have an upload on Saturday, then the next upload will be the Wednesday, not directly after that, but the week after that. So that I have that week and a half, just a few more days, like 3 more days, 2-3 more days to kind of have a little bit more space in between the uploads. I feel like that's really going to help me because now I post a video on Saturday, I work on Saturday, I work a little bit on Sunday too, answering comments and emails and stuff. And then Monday, like, new video. I'm already starting to work on the new video. I feel like I don't really have enough time to breathe in between. So I think that this change is going to be good for me. Honestly, it's a little scary because I'm going to have less uploads on YouTube. Like, when you look at it throughout the year, this is going to mean fewer uploads, and that scares me. But I know that it is going to be fine, and I know that I need to do it. I know it's important. So yeah, I wanted to mention that in today's video so you all know that I'm perfectly fine. If there's no upload on Saturday, then that means that there will be likely an upload the Wednesday after that. And if you want to make sure to never miss an upload from me, then you can always subscribe for my free newsletter, simplehappyzen.com/newsletter. I always send one out when there's a new video. It's completely free, like you can just sign up for it. And then you will always get an email from me if there's a new video up. So I am excited for the change. As I said, it's a little bit scary because I don't know, I feel like maybe I don't know, I have a lot of unpacking to do here. But yeah, I wanted to let you know. Huge thank you to LiveXP for supporting the channel and sponsoring today's video again. If you want to try them out, all the information is in the description box. And as always, thank you so much for being here until the end of the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all of your support this year. It means so much to me. I cannot put it into words how much I appreciate you being a part of the community. So thank you, and I'll see you all again next year. Why am I getting emotional again? As always, questions, comments, conversations down below. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you all next year. Bye-bye. So for a couple of days now, I have one of those twitchy eye muscles. Do you ever have that? It's so annoying.